All right.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show. This is America's longest-running afternoon drive sports radio show, broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legends.
Here's Doug Gottlieb.
Kevin Durant is the only guy in the association that's a wash at that position with LeBron James. He's like, what's a wash? I'm like, if you look at the Eastern Conference and you look at the run that LeBron's had in the Eastern Conference, he played in the first round. He played against the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers with Victor Oladipo and those guys. He offset 3 of the star players. He did it again in the Toronto series, and he did it again in the Boston series. He can outplay literally the best 3 players on the opposing team. But when you go to the finals, it's one guy on that team that can be literally a wash with him, and that's Kevin Durant. He's the weapon. And that's why they had no shot whatsoever.
Well, listen, game one now, they did have a shot. Of course, we all know all the things that...
To win a game, but not the series.
No. I thought it would go 5 or 6 because I thought they could get one, and I thought maybe they could get one at home. And the whole series probably changed if they get one. Remember, Iguodala wasn't healthy, didn't play. I think they're a different team with him as opposed to without him. You need that 5th guy. They were attacking whoever that 5th guy was on the floor. Those guys were always in the wrong place, the wrong time. And using JaVale McGee, I thought was smart, something they didn't do in the Houston series. So I think they kind of changed as well. But I want your reaction to the footage, which I think everyone's seen now. Game 1, end of regulation. LeBron's sitting over there, and obviously he's hot, right? He had 51.
Yeah, he was hot. You could cook eggs on him. He was hot.
Okay, he's hot. And JR, JR clearly wanted to apologize. Wanted to just go, my bad. And no one did anything except for Korver comes over and he's trying to console, all right, it's okay. But look, he could have gone one of 3 ways. He could have turned around and did what he did in the court. What are you doing? What is the matter with you? But instead, he's just seething, and maybe instead of saying the wrong thing, he said nothing. But he also didn't go hey, next play, let's go get it back. You've been in all those huddles with all those big moments. What was your reaction?
I was just shocked. Because, Doug, you just talked about it, and you talked about your child that, attends the school with, Mamba's kid and everything. And the one thing that as a parent, and I hate to make this comparison, but you don't want to show too much emotion to the people that look to you for the leadership and the guidance. So, it can be the worst moment ever, and my kids could attest to this. I'm just I'm straight face, poker face. And in that moment, LeBron displayed all that emotion, and it just it was deflating not only to JR but to the team. And then that was a moment, and then you go to the huddle, and then it's he's revisiting the moment even in depth, and just there's no way from an emotional standpoint that they can come out that huddle and still be consistent on the court to give their best effort. And I told RJ, me and Richard Jefferson watching the game, he's like, no, LeBron's great, he's going to figure it out. I'm like, bruh. He can turn it on and off like that, but you got to think about the other guys that's looking and evaluating this situation from an emotional standpoint. They're hot. They're checked out. You lost them. It's a wrap. You cancel Christmas. The series is over. Any chance that you had at winning a game, it's over.
Do guys in the league think of Kevin Durant at the level he's playing at the level of LeBron?
Yeah, I think so. Look, this is what people see with Kevin Durant. And, truth sounds like hate to those who are not used to hearing the truth. So this is truth talk right here. They may feel indifferent for him leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder for whatever reason. And he had his reasons. And the reason why is justified because he's winning, and he's winning MVPs, he's winning titles. And, he has it all. On and off the court, he's winning financially. He's in a good place mentally, and that's all about. That's all you can ask for. But you may have your mixed feelings because of that. But if you take that out of the equation and take that personal stuff out and just be as a basketball player, how can you not say that he's not on the same level now with 2 final MVPs, 2 championships, and he taking 2 away from LeBron? You know what I mean? LeBron's still the best player on the planet right now today. He's the best player. But it's a photo finish when you look at him and Kevin Durant as, going forward, because Kevin Durant is special. He's ready for the moment, and he understands that, look, in order for me to continue to be special, I had to continue to, go through him.
It's Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. That's the voice of Tough Juice. Caron Butler. Check him out, Chris and Caron, every Sunday here on Fox Sports Radio. Steph has not won a Finals MVP. I've never thought of that as the calling card of whether or not you're an all-time great. But he's unique, right? He won 2 MVPs, but I don't know if he was actually the best player in the league. I don't think anybody thought he was the best player in the league either of those years. Harden probably should have won it one year. LeBron said, hey, look, he had the incredible year in the 73 win year, but didn't make him the best player, just made him have the best season. Again, how do guys in the league, guys who have played, guys like yourself, how do they look at Steph in comparison to the other great players?
Best shooter all time, off the dribble also, not just a catch and shoot shooter, but off the dribble, redefine the game from a perimeter standpoint, and can't tell the story of basketball without talking about Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
Here's how I would look at when you say best shooter off the dribble. For people who don't understand, some guys are great off the catch.
Yep.
Right? Like his dad was great off the catch. Unbelievable catch and shoot jump shooter.
Ray Allen.
Okay. Some dudes are great going right. Some dudes are great going left. Now, are there certain shots that he has the lefty, he always goes step back, right? And on the right, he likes to shoot off the crossover or whatever. But this is a guy that literally shoots any way you want, right, left, from almost any range. And when you say he's redefined what you consider a good shot. Because usually some of these shots, they were considered bad shots, not because somebody couldn't make them, because they would make such a low percentage, your coach would take you out. Even if you did make it, that's a bad shot. Now we have to kind of wait, maybe it's not a bad shot. He makes a high enough percentage of it to which you give him more freedom. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. And he sells out his warm-ups. Like when he's warming up to get prepared for the game, it's a standing room only. People want to see this guy get into a flow, into a rhythm, and he makes it fun. From a technical standpoint, it's just, amazing to watch. And, he's having fun doing it. And he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer.
Two-time MVP, two-time three championships.
Yeah,
not close.
What else do you? I mean, it's just like we're picking at the bear, like we're poking at the bear, like when it's like he could have easily had the Finals MVP when Andre Iguodala won it.
Yes.
I mean, but it was the right thing to do because this is what they're controlling the narrative. This is what we're doing. We're rewarding excellent basketball and people that sacrifice. And Andre Iguodala sacrificed something. All of them are all in about the team. And you heard Kevin Durant quotes when he said, look, we won. Like, why are you even talking about that? Who cares? Like, if he won or I won, or look, we won a championship.
It's interesting. They got away with the fact that their bench, this is the weakest bench of the three, and they got away with the fact that Draymond can't make a shot. Like, Draymond, he lost confidence in it, and he couldn't. Like, it's really amazing because he was a kind of stretch five. He could make some shots, and he lost his jump shot sometime this season. I know he had a little bit of shoulder thing, but a lot of it is just mentally not having confidence. Kind of amazing that I think people somehow conflate the 73-win team, which had a completely different makeup and didn't win a championship, with this team, when this team kind of limped in without Iguodala for the first 2 games, with Draymond being a guy you did not even guard,
Steph.
And look, Steph had a couple of bad nights, but also the bench was just not very good in comparison to benches in the past.
People made a lot of, fuss about Kevin Durant going there too. And you see, if he had not went there, these 2 championships, I don't feel like they would have won.
Agreed. This is what I said. Again, and I don't know if you ever seen the movie Pretty Woman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You know the part where she said she tells she has this vision of being rescued on the balcony, and he asks, so what happened after he rescues her? And she says she rescued him right back. I used it Friday. I was like, look, Kevin Durant rescued them right back because they saved Kevin Durant from a career of possibly not winning championships in Oklahoma City. But these 2 wouldn't have been possible if they keep Harrison Barnes. What do they do with the rest of the bench? Like it was a team that others would catch up to, like the Rockets. Whereas this team, it gave them a completely different look, and and put them, to this point, head and tails above. Caron Butler continues to join us here on the Doug Gottlieb Show. Let's take a listen. So the show is every Sunday, Chris and Caron on Fox Sports Radio. Chris is Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports. Caron is my guest, Caron Butler, of course, an NBA champion with the Dallas Mavericks. Several times an All-Star. You see him on Turner Sports. You see him on ESPN. You see him on Fox. He works for everybody. Actually, everybody works for him. Let's just kind of be honest there. And if you missed the interview in its entirety, go to iTunes. You can download it. Also download the Kobe Bryant interview, which they sat down for about 25 minutes with Kobe 3 weeks ago. Here's Dwyane Wade talking about LeBron James' future.
I don't think it's a basketball thing. I think at this point in his life, it's more so of a lifestyle thing of, where my family going to be the most comfortable, where I'm going to be the happiest at.
What do you make of that comment?
I think it's spot on. Look, it's so many layers and there's so many seasons to an NBA career, right? So when we come into this game as professional athletes, you want to be, you want everybody to know your name. You want to hit the ground running. You want to, tackle all these invisible goals that you set. So he's done that. And then you go through the championship journey where you're just trying to, stack up on as many rings as possible. And then you think about the seamless transition in life after basketball. This is the winner of your career. And, he shows no signs of declining or slowing down. But look, everything has to come to the end at some point. And you have to think about, your family and where will you reside and how can you make that transition as smooth as possible. And I look at that and I think Houston obviously can win there. Chris Paul's his buddy for many years, a great friend on and off the court. And I also think about the Los Angeles Lakers, where he already has a existing, network of business already going on off the court. So it just makes a ton of sense to be here in this market and excel.
Do you think there's a way in which he gets Chris Paul to come here? I
get anybody.
I understand. Well, but Chris Paul he could be a free agent. Don't want to take a pay cut. He's also, head of the NBA PA. So for that, Chris Paul can't go like, hey, I'll work for $5 million because that's not great for everybody else in the union, right? Yeah. And there's always been the dream for the Lakers, or for the Lakers always, if not for the David Stern trade, Kobe would have even more rings. None of that would have happened. Like, I guess my question is there a plan that's already in place that we'll know about in a week or two, or do you think he's going to sit down and try and figure out what that plan is?
Man, listen, I think it's a process because, if he leaves Cleveland, if and when, it's going to be a long breakup. But I do feel like, and he's a calculated guy. His team is calculated. I do feel like that decision has already been made amongst each other, amongst them, and they're just waiting to move forward with that decision.
Here's my hypothesis. You tell me if it's way off. My hypothesis is the reason you're hearing all these teams, which you're like the Golden State thing, I think that could actually do damage to Golden State if they meet with him, right? Which is like, wait,
in so many ways.
If they meet with him, it's like Clay's sitting there going like, hey, wait, I said I'd take less to stay. Now you're thinking about getting rid of me?
Hampton 5.
Huh?
The death lineup, Hampton 5. You're going to meet with LeBron? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, we want to stay together. We're the dynasty. Like, I think that destroys chemistry. Chemistry is everything, right? You pass the ball, you got familiarity with the guys that you're with, and then all of a sudden you have a meeting with the best player on the planet in LeBron James. Now everybody's like, the player's not going to support that meeting. I don't think, because that means that two of the guys has to go.
Right.
And that's just that'll be crazy.
Right. And then you have Boston, which feels like a tweak towards Kyrie, right? I mean, and I don't think San Antonio's not happening, because as much as it's about winning championships, it's also about supporting those guys who he's brought with him everywhere he's gone, and that doesn't fly in San Antonio. I feel like these other teams are being put in play for a reason, and the other reason is, like, the Lakers want him, and the Lakers want to make it work, but I think they wanted Fizdale to be the coach. I think they wanted some of the things to go be their way. And to that point, the Lakers have said, like, look, we're going to build a great team around you. You pick the other superstar, you help recruit him, we'll get you there. But we're not going to let it be what it was in Cleveland. It's going to be closer to what it was in Miami.
Yeah, I can see that also. But at the end of the day, when LeBron goes wherever he goes, he's going to, not only be a client, he's going to be the president.
Okay, so here's the big question, though, that I haven't heard anybody talk about. You and I were discussing before we went on air. Look, he's in his 30s, and we can go 15th year. There's a lot of wear on those tires. He wasn't as good defensively this year. He's super smart in how he picks his spots. He doesn't practice anymore. He just does his individual workout. He gets his body right, and he plays in games. He plays Showtime. But at some point, Father Time wins every one of these battles. So you're going to sign LeBron to a 4-year deal. What does year 3 and 4 actually look like? What's the next step in evolution of LeBron look like?
Look, and this is crazy. Me and Chris are talking about this. Even a bad year for LeBron, right? This is a bad season. So some other guy's career season. He's going to average what? 22, 7, and 6. Like this. Think about that. 22, 7, and 6. Like, you can't even get your star franchise cornerstone of the franchise guy to do that right now. And he's going to do that on the back end, on this end of his career. So with that being said, and if he has the talent around him, like, he understands his IQ is higher than others. Like, he remember plays like on the spot that happened in 2008. Like, it's a rare handful of guys that can do that and think the game of basketball like that take care of their temple, which is their body, investing over $1.5 million, $2 million in their body every year. So look, he's serious about his craft. He understands that. And the thing that drives him is that we're having this conversation. He can't do that. 15, 16, 17. He has to slow down. He's like, you know what? I'm going to prove all the doubters wrong. I'm going to go out there and have a remarkable 3-4 year run.
Okay, so why did he wear the brace on his hand?
Right? Everybody need a little sympathy, though.
I mean,
God, come on, man. Like, even Superman wanted a hug.
Yeah, he was already getting the sympathy. We were already like, look, LeBron just didn't have the horses. He got JR. Ty Lue doesn't call a timeout. George Hill can't make. Jordan Clarkson stinks. You can't even put him in the game, right? Like, everyone was already sympathetic in his plight against the Warriors.
Every superhero just want a little hug.
So he like, why not just wait until today and let it leak? Hey, you know what? LeBron had a broken hand. No way. Yeah, he had a broken hand. Check the video. He's got a swollen hand. And then he comes out. Now he's got a full cast on today, and then he could come with it. Look, I don't make any excuses. We lost because they were the better team. That's it. And instead. It looked like an excuse. I got a broken hand. Oh, I punched. I lost my cool. I shouldn't have done it. What are you doing?
But if you wait, then who controls the narrative? Because he did it when he did it, he still controls the narrative. Like, oh, my God. Like, what happened to his hand? I'll tell you later. He gets to control that. He didn't have
to say anything. The story could be that LeBron James punched a blackboard. What the story is, he punched a blackboard, he broke his hand, but it could be like he played 3 games with a broken hand and didn't say nothing to it about anybody. Instead, it's, oh, LeBron gets beat, now he's got a broken hand. Of course he does.
What was the headline after that post conference? The headline was the Golden State Warriors win, but the story was what happened to LeBron's hand. Perfectly played.
I disagree. I wanted to give the guy every you're gonna come up with you send somebody a text and the next day like, oh, sorry about that text, I was drunk. Like, you still sent the text? You still sent the text?
Look, we compared him to the GOAT, right? The greatest of all time, yes. Michael Jordan.
21 years ago today, he played the flu game.
So look, I would have been better, but my hand was broke.
I like it better when somebody else says it.
Remember Mike Tyson said, hey, my back was broken. They said, your back? You broke your back? Your back? He said, my back was broken. That's why I couldn't fight. My back was broken.
That's part of, Bill Simmons, I believe, coined the Tyson zone. You know what the Tyson zone is?
What's that?
You're in the Tyson zone. There's no story about Mike Tyson that you don't believe to be true, right? That's called the Tyson zone. So when Mike Tyson says, I had a broken back, you're like, yeah, I believe that. If Mike Tyson said, I had a foot bit off by an alligator. You'd be like, yeah, I believe that. It's Mike Tyson. Tyson zone. But LeBron James, I don't know. Like LeBron James, I mean, Paul Pierce still catching grief for getting wheeled off. That wasn't his choice.
He came right back.
He came right back. In the wheelchair. In the wheelchair. Check out his show. It's on Sundays. I always get confused with the East Coast West Coast because I listen to it West Coast time.
9 to 12.
All right, so it's 12 to 3 Eastern time, 9 to 12 Pacific Coast time. He's Tough Juice. Follow him on Instagram, on Twitter as well. Maybe he'll fight Kobe Bryant's fights on Twitter for him. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep, from my burner account.